Alright, my needle drops. No time to lose. We've got to do an album review. But one thing before that, the band Women, who have a new album coming out this year, Public Strain. I recently interviewed the singer and guitarist from the band, Patrick Flegel. You can go down there in the D-Box and find a link to where you can go listen to that or go just check out our Tumblr account. It's there. Autolux is a West Coast trio who is often overlooked in the world of art rock and shoegaze simply because they don't really have the heavyweight discographies of bands like Blonde Redhead or Sonic Youth. Autolux's debut LP, Future Perfect, didn't exactly reinvent the world of art rock, but its songs are really catchy, really snappy, visceral, but there's also enough experimentation and guitar noise in the mix to make it feel like a little bit more than just your average rock record. And Autolux really likes to do things pretty much at their own pace. That debut album actually came out in 2004, and now 6 years later, we have its follow-up, Transit. And on this LP, for the most part, it's pretty much Autolux as you remember them. They're really building on their past sound, drumming up some interesting guitar effects, but also incorporating some newer elements too, like drum machines, some piano balladry, loops, arrangements, multi-tracked background vocals, drum machines. A lot of different ideas being incorporated on this album, and some real stylistic shifts too. This thing really does not stay in one spot for a lot of the time. I hear elements of 60s psychedelic rock. There are a few moments where this band actually sounds a little bit like Mercury Rev to me, especially in the falsetto vocals and the very detailed studio production. And track 3, High Chair, with its drum machine, reminds me a lot of maybe what Black Moth Super Rainbow would sound like if they didn't have so much lo-fi fuzz on their music. So Autolux is trying new things on this record, but it's kind of led to a sound that overall is a little less menacing than their debut, which is really what I dug so much about it. It did have these sweet pop sounds, but then again there was this kind of danger to it. Much of the loudest sounds on Transit are kind of just sitting at the back of the bus. This thing really kind of wakes up, I want to say around track 7. There are some rocky songs before that track, but yeah, around there is when this thing really starts to get voluminous. The title of that song is Audience Number 2, and this song is really kind of the Autolux I remember. It just seems like the music is happening right there in front of you and you're just being hit with so many different sounds. It's kind of like a sensory overload, but it's combined with really strong songwriting. I can't see this record scoring extremely high with me, mostly because there were some potholes, there were just some tracks that I didn't care for. I want to say just about half of the LP underwhelmed me. Either the tracks didn't go far enough to produce an interesting sound, or a lot of the tracks I felt were kind of hindered by all the loops and the canned instrumentation. It depends on the track, but there are some moments where it'll sound like maybe the guitar or maybe the drums aren't actually being performed in a take, but are kind of just being cut and pasted, which for me leads to a sound that is not very dynamic and is really not an aesthetic I like in my rock music. Overall, the LP didn't really grip me, but I could see how hardcore fans who have just been dying for this thing to be released will appreciate it, and I could see people digging it if they're kind of looking for a friendlier side of this genre of music, something that maybe is a little bit easier on the ears. I'm feeling a strong beefy 6 on this record, like it could almost take down a 7 if the 7 had its back turned or something like that, just come up right behind it, put it in a headlock. But other than that, I'm really not, but that's pretty much where my ears are at on this record. Where are your ears on this record? Are you loving it? Are you hating it? And what would you score this thing? Anthony Fantano, Autolux, Transit, forever.